into another game. We're looking at Lucian Callista, so presumably trying to kill his own units. That seems like not the type of thing you want to do with these units that give your opponent buff spells. But I'm actually going to keep the Quinn because I'm going to go for an early ramp with the Butcher attacking the Raptor. Trying a Cythria as well is really good because it means my units don't even have to die to contest. I feel like going first in this lab is going to be a pretty sizable advantage, just because of the ability to drop a strong 1-drop, generally a 2/2, bump it once, and then use the Jungle Invade spell on the next turn to finish off that weakened jungle camp. Because I think if you're able to proc that buff on turn 2, you're usually going to win the game. If you're able to then curve that into a reliable proc on turn 3, I mean, now we're gonna drop Misfortune next turn, I guess? Yeah. Drawing a Bannerman's a really nice draw. We're happy to trade the 2/2 for the 3/2 because we don't need it to kill his camp directly anymore. He does have the Jungle Invade, but he's still not going to be able to trade the 1-for-1 with the Raptor until this turn. And we've already established a pretty solid position. Okay, so he's going to invade with the Cursed Keeper and proc that. That makes sense. We just stick to our game plan, which is playing Misfortune and using that to clean off the Crimson Raptor next turn. Or he doesn't have to invade with the 1/1, he can just grab the Vulnerable on it directly. It's actually strange how different our game plan is, and not in a bad way, just a different way because of the way events transpired from here. We're probably going to save the Bannerman and go wide with the Butcher and the Petty Officer this turn. That helps use the +1/+1 buff we're going to go for off the Raptor, as well as setting up for a really good Bannerman the turn after, and then a good Quinn the turn after that. Playing behind 1 mana seems fine, because we're just slowly... We're already ahead 1 mana, but we're also then just slowly banking that mana for future invades or buff spells. He does end up going for the +1/+1 buff, which we're okay with. There was an argument to play the Bannerman, buff this out of range of his Abominations invade, but he'd just be able to clean it up next turn anyways. That's a really good card to have in this. It's a really good card to have for this, but I'm pretty happy with our potential options to get a good board setup, deal with his 2/6 next turn. We unfortunately don't have a great way to invade this turn. Drawing the Fleet Feather Tracker is really nice. I actually wonder what happens if your board is full at the end of the turn. We don't have a great way to use this invade, because even with the buff, it's only up to 5 attack. So we're gonna just play the Tracker instead, and I want to see... I think more of my units are gonna die, unfortunately, but I am very curious what happens if your board is full at the end of the turn. Yeah, we're gonna find out. This is a science move. Actually, it also prevents him from getting the buff on the Dawn Speakers, So I have a feeling that the jungle camp might replace the Bannerman. He goes for the buff again, so his units have +2/+2. Okay, so it replaces the weakest unit. Interesting. We're going to... Actually, we have the opportunity to clean off this Dawn Speakers, so we're going to take that. This is going to kill the Krug. This is a unit I don't care if... These two units, I don't care if he blocks them, because they'll trade 1-for-1 with his large units. I am giving him the option to level up Callista, which I potentially shouldn't be doing, but I think I want to put more pressure on him rather than less. He's got a back-to-back, so that'll actually keep both of those alive. Callista is on 1 HP now, which we're moderately happy about. I'm just going to buff up Quinn here, I think. Just make a really large Quinn coming down.
I gotta show you the sights of Bilgewater. The sights are fine. The smells, on the
His
other
Callista goes back down to a 5/1, then up to a 6/2 from the Dawn Speaker effect. His Dawn Speakers goes back down to a 2/3. And he still doesn't have Callista leveled up, which is pretty crucial. He can trade Callista for this Krug. I'm going to be able to invade with the Quinn because she's large enough to kill his Krug. He's going to just kill his Krug for me, which I guess does level up Callista, so that makes sense. But it does give us a chance to draw 2 cards and look for an answer of some kind. We don't find one, but I think I'm fine replacing Valor just because he's so weak and giving a buff over to this 2/6 because that'll prevent him from killing the Krug and kind of like catching up this turn. He's got a pretty big Radiant Guardian, which I don't have a direct answer for. But at the same time, I'm not in a point where I'm necessarily going to start trying to kill him yet. So I'm okay with this. We're gonna get MF leveled up next turn, Quinn 2 turns after that. So we're pretty happy with our position. We're blocking the Callista even though she doesn't die, just to prevent ourselves from taking that 11 face damage, and because we've got plenty of units to follow up with. I believe this this does trigger, so that'll be at 3 health. Getting a powder keg is going to be useful here. And I think, I'm not certain, but I think this is the Rift Herald turn.
Our allies did not fall in vain.
Nope. Oh yeah, it is Herald. So, because we grabbed this powder keg, Misfortune's Love Tap is going to clean up the Herald.
Love ya.
And now the issue is, I really want to use the +3/+3, but the other 2 are just kind of better for the current game state. What is he going for? If he kills my Quinn, then I'm definitely planning to... He's not going to quite kill my Quinn. He does finish off the Misfortune. Yeah, one of Callista's abilities. So he's out of spells, or rather, he's out of really good He's out of cards. So he's probably going to go for the draw. He's used at least 2 of the Razor Sharps. 3 plus 3. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going for the +3/+3 here, even though it's the greediest option, because it's going to allow these Jagged Butchers to clean up his Rift Heralds starting next turn. And it also represents a pair of 9/9 units that he can't easily contest with his current board. He does go for the draw and the ramp, which was expected. We're okay with that. We're going to attack with both of the 9/9s and both of the other units. I can save Quinn for now. Actually, I could just even attack with Quinn. I'll attack with Quinn as well. If he blocks Quinn, so he does have to block at least these 2 units. Or no, that's actually just enough. But he did need to block something. We're okay with attacking with Quinn because we're saying, like, our board is bigger. We're fine with him trading some of his units off. We've got another even bigger Quinn in hand, so we're fine if she dies. There's the Herald. You've got 9/7 on the Grizzled Ranger.
I'm what nightmares.
He's got a pretty big 6/4, but actually, it's really tempting to use the 9/1 just because it dies and frees us up a board slot, but I really don't want him to be able to use some cheap removal on the 9/1 and use that to clean up. Here we're gonna draw 3 to get some more tools. Single combat's a really nice ability. That's just gonna go for on this 5/5 with his Callista. Unfortunately, we don't, because we took the quote-unquote, like, safe play. That's fine. Because we took the safe play and attacked the Rift Herald with the 9/6, we don't have anything that can actually block the Senna. I'm curious what that will summon. I think it's the Lifesteal Taunt, or Lifesteal Tough? Yeah. Which is unfortunate because it means he gets some health back. I'm gonna block the 6/4. I'm gonna block both of them. I want to take as little damage as possible here.
Hope burns on.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Oh, Bertrand.
Especially with Genevieve coming down next turn, which may be the Baron turn. We've got really good tools to follow up with. We'll be able to level up Quinn next round. He goes for summoning his own Herald.
We will defend them to the end.
Our allies did not fall in vain.
There's Baron. So we want to attack with this. We want to attack with this. We can use this to finally clean up this really obnoxious 2/3, and we're gonna hit Baron with the other one. Once Quinn is leveled up as well, we will be pretty happy just actively choosing to sacrifice her, because it means we'll be able to drop our second Quinn as a pretty aggressive unit. We're even going to just trade Quinn for the Baron here, I think, if he doesn't have some sort of answer. He's going to kill Quinn, which we don't have an answer for. But he does kill his own Callista. So, interesting. So the +3/+3 buff wasn't transferred across to Quinn because they were a champion spell at the time.
But I can't.
Somewhat unfortunate, but we're still pretty happy with our current position.
Let's get to it.
Senna. Both of these die to that. Yeah, and our goal is just to clean up his board. I think he even dies here because he can't block with the 4/4. So. These types of kind of early aggression into large mid-range units feels like a really strong way to play this lab out, just because of the fact that you eventually get to a point like this where your units are just bigger than your opponents and you can take good trades. Was that Baron always there? I'm gonna have to play another game to see if Baron actually comes out of the pit up there. If that's the case, then holy shit, I love it. I need to watch back the recording of the stream to see the Baron spawning. I wonder what rank that's on. Rally, give allies +3/+3 and overwhelm this round. Okay. So that's the finisher.